Hey everyone, it's Emma from Misfit Gardening. I'm just coming out to check on things. So the chickens are right up on the back porch. It's been a bit of a rough day at work, so I have some of my favourite Glenfiddich. That's Scottish whiskey, if you're interested. Hey girlies! Hi! Hi! Hello ladies! There's Hengist. Count Cluckers in the background? Yes, Attila, yes. Ginger? Hey Ginger! Hey baby girl! And then this laced Wyandotte is called Ranger, but it's just one of the noisiest, so I call her Mother Clucker. Let's go check in the garden and see how we're doing in there. So, last time we had a bit of a wind problem. If I can lock the thing. And I've apparently got a bit of a drinking problem because I've now managed to splash whiskey all down myself. Oh well, I'm sure I'll smell delicious later. Look at the sunset. Just starting. So, the wind blew down all of the corn and I did nothing. I was working some very long hours and I didn't do anything for it, so come here, let's get in there, you bugger. And I came out late yesterday and it was all kind of upright, and I've given everything a good feed. This is the glass gem. Now granted, this isn't a raised bed and it's towering over me, so maybe knock off about 3 feet or so. This is the painted mountain, and all of a sudden it just looks a little more sparse than what it did before. I don't know, maybe that's just me. We've got a couple renegade corn stalks that want to go the other way, but on the whole, mostly back upright. So that was pretty good, and there was a couple of people that just suggested to leave it be, and that's what I ended up having to do anyway, so that's pretty nifty. You can see the sun setting and the clouds over by the mountains there. It's pretty. Something that I am super excited to show you guys though. Got tassels forming. Yay! So hopefully we should have some corn. Now, I've really not grown much of it, let alone 3 different varieties in a relatively small space. So I'm hoping the fact that this hasn't started tasseling or anything, or flowering, whatever, yet, means that we should get very limited cross-pollination between the two. At least that's my thought. The zucchini is going wild. And tons of zucchini. I'm also getting tons and tons of tomatoes. There's one, put me drink down. So that's stealth zucchini or courgettes in here. Got beans. It's really cute purple beans. One thing I don't like is that they turn green when you cook them. I kind of like to have things colourful on the plate. But lots and lots of tomatoes. Lots and lots. So many tomatoes. We're almost trying to figure out when we get back from visiting family in Texas about getting all the canning stuff out and ready and making sure we've got enough jars and stuff, because there's going to be a whole lot of sauce that I've got to make. The grapevine, which refuses to die, I am now starting to think that this is a triffid growing, and I mean, it's just going and going and going. Pretty sure it's going to take over at some point. Herb beds, still trying to settle in. Hopefully some of them will come back to life. The thyme's not looking too good. Some of the oregano has, some of it died. This is yarrow, or the more fancier, prettier ones that you get from the store. That's kind of died, but it's coming back. Clary sage is deciding what it wants to do, and it looks like finally the comfrey's coming back. So that's awesome. This is echinacea, and I've been really bad at getting these to actually germinate, so I bought a small transplant from one of the local nurseries. This is lemongrass. Well, it's probably not going to survive the winter, but we'll see. And this is white horehound. We've got a couple of lavenders. This is the polyculture bed. Growing well. These beans are doing tremendously. Growing up all sorts of stuff, just how I want it to. This is actually putting a lot of good growth as well, and is catching up to some of the others. Oh, look at the night. Looking so pretty. Pumpkins are all growing up well. Got the beans that are starting to grow up here as well, so hopefully these are going to fill out all the way. Got a couple of beans in here that are coming up. Beans are cucumbers, I guess. Beans, cucumbers, melons might be growing. Definitely the beans are coming up. Not sure if it's melons or cucumbers. This is all pumpkins and some sweet potatoes. Right here. They're doing really well. Got some female flowers forming here. See the little fruitlet on there. That's exciting. These pumpkins have taken over the bed. Need to get another trellis in pretty quickly actually, otherwise we're going to lose everything that's in there. It's going to smother it all out. This is buckwheat. Buckwheat that's all growing, which is brilliant because the bees need something. This whole bed is buckwheat just purely for fodder. The peaches. The peaches. Where do I start with the peaches? These haven't changed in size at all for a couple of weeks, and I'm getting a little concerned now. I mean, last year I had huge, you know, they were like size of my fist and bigger. You know, the most luscious, delicious, huge peaches, and these aren't really doing anything. So I've fed the tree around the drip line, and it's been getting plenty of water, but we're not really getting any progress. So I'm starting to wonder now if these might be ready whilst I'm in Texas, which would be a little sad. This would be really sad if like these are as big as they get. I've seen bigger apricots. Squashes and things are doing okay. Got a little buttercup forming there. I'm trying to hit these beds up with feed quite regularly since we've got lots of heavy feeders in one space. Hi Attila. No, you're not coming through here. The romaine lettuce is coming up. Got a couple of sunflowers that are now blooming. These are all just volunteers. I think these might have been dropped from the sunflowers that I grew last year, maybe. Probably more likely that have come from chicken scratch. that was left over in the stuff that got composted. So I put a lot of the chickens' bedding and stuff in these after I cleaned out the coops. That's probably more likely from where those have come from. More tomatoes. The basil's flowering. You need to give it a bit of a haircut. But otherwise it's doing well. Oh, looks like these beans are finally getting some growth and traction, which is great because these guys haven't made much progress in weeks. I'm starting to get a little concerned. Beans are drying. These are the snow peas that I grew, the heirloom ones. They still look pretty even in these pods. Look how pretty that is. So hopefully these should be dry in the next day or two. I probably should pull this really so it doesn't get watered when we next water the garden. Swiss chard doing tremendously well. Got more sunflowers growing up. Some are a little weird in how they're growing. Beets should be coming up. I need to do another sowing of those. More zucchini in there. My oak leaf lettuce here is actually starting to bolt, but it was pretty delicious, and it managed to survive the onslaught of bugs that were eating stuff in here. So I'm going to let that go to seed, and I'm going to go ahead and save the seed. Got more sunflowers here. These are still growing. Still growing. Hibiscus or Rose of Sharon here. Aren't they lovely? Nasturtiums are also doing well. Got some kale that's starting to pick up. My broccoli's kind of picking up, but I need to put some more in. The stem on this thing's huge. I'd also like to throw out that I probably have the most laid back sunflower possibly in the world. It was blown over with the high wind and the red flag issues that we've had over the last couple of days. But it seems to be fairly happy there. It's just chilling. This one's also pretty laid back, but not as bad as the other one. Yeah, I don't know whether you guys are going to be able to see these, but I mean, I'm 5'8" and these are way taller than I am. Alright, granted, you know, they're in a raised bed, but they're pretty tall. So we've got some trees. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do with this. I think it's an aspen. Tempted to pull it out, to be honest, because it's not really doing anything there. It does shade this bed a bit more with the fence line, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether just to leave it. What do you guys think? I mean, on one hand, it's a great resource of leaves and things for mulch in the fall, but I also have this wonderful big red maple that does that too. So I don't know, be keen to see what you guys think. So, but yes, that's just a quick, well, sort of quick update in the garden. This one's turning red. Oh my goodness. That looks awesome. Hopefully my husband doesn't see it beforehand. So, on the whole, not too bad for the recovery of the corn. I think next year I'm going to try and put some posts in, and then maybe not in this bed obviously, but put some posts in at the end of the beds to help kind of put something like maybe a trellis in, or a screen or something they can grow up that provides support kind of midway up, or maybe just use some string. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But then I don't think I'm going to be growing as much corn next year. So, there we go. So, until next time, I'm Emma from Misfit Gardening. Cheers guys, enjoy your night. Bye bye.